Hello, my name's Earl Grey. This is my submission video for Summer Games Done Quick 2020. This is Banana Blitz HD All Worlds. This category consists of doing every stage in every world and defeating all of the bosses in worlds 1 through 8. There are no bosses for 9 and 10 because they're considered to be like extra stages from Super Monkey Ball 1 or 2 if you're more familiar with that game. So as you've probably already noticed, the most different part about this game than other Monkey Ball games is the fact that we can jump. It creates a lot of interesting situations where we can do some pretty cool tricks because we have more control over our Z-axis. The first world here is pretty basic. It's mostly just like very beginner levels, a lot of which we can just hold up through. All the bonus stages in every level come after stage 4, and we want to just fall out because we don't care about the coins or bananas. You might also notice that I'm playing as Sonic and that there's rings everywhere. Sonic is an unlockable character in Banana Blitz HD, and he obviously is the fastest. It also changes all the bananas into rings. So yeah, most all like full game speedruns use Sonic. There's certain ILs that use different characters because they have different stats. Also the time attack mode, sometimes people use different characters. They have to because Sonic's not available in time attack, so most people use Baby, who is the next fastest. Alright, so this is the first major skip of the run. I'm going to go just a little ways down here, turn around, and I'm going to try to do a really precise jump here. Alright, so I got it first try. So you have to jump between that rock and the fence, and then you have to do what's called a super jump, which basically is where there's a couple different ways to do a super jump, or I guess it's slightly different than a super jump. It's more of a delayed jump. The community hasn't come up with like certain super strict terminology yet, but basically when you bounce on the ground, if you jump like a little bit after the bounce has already started, you'll maintain your momentum better and you'll get a better jump. It'll also go a little bit higher, and so it allows you to clear that distance from that bridge all the way to the goal that we saw on stage 7. Alright, so this boss is pretty RNG heavy, but we can skip most of his attacks, which is nice. So he was gonna do an attack there where he like flaps his wings a bunch and you can't hit him for a while, and then he gets tired and you hit him. But you can, if you're really careful with your timing, you can hit him as his head goes forward. And same with that peck attack. He would normally peck like a bunch of times before you could hit him, but if you time it right, you can hit him. Sometimes he'll fling you like you saw there with me though, and that can be dangerous. You can die pretty easy there. Alright, so yeah, that's World 1. World 1's pretty easy. Boss fight's pretty easy. That strat might look kind of hard, but honestly anybody could sit down and do that strat on the final boss if they just like took a couple tries at it. Alright, and then we are done with World 1. And we are heading into World 2. World 2 has some more interesting strats, some more interesting levels. This first one's kind of neat. It has another delayed jump. That one's a little tight, just because of the height requirement, but you can actually get really good jumps there that will like more than clear it, but it's kind of hard. This level wants us to go around into like a bunch of like weird curves and stuff. We're just gonna jump over all that nonsense. Jumping kind of breaks a lot of these stages completely wide open. This stage is another one of them. So if we jump down here, oh no, I messed that up. I accidentally got stuck on the fence there, so let me try that again. If we jump down here, we can get a very interesting bonk off the ground here. That'll take us all the way over here. Jumping is also nice because you can jump over hazards that might like cause you to fly out of the map. This is another level where jumping kind of breaks everything. You can just kind of jump around all of the obstacles. Another thing we should probably mention is the collision in this game is really bad. If you've seen any of the platforms that kind of look like bridges where there's like slats of wood on them, every single slat has its own collision. And so the problem with that is that oh wow, I did not get a jump there. So that's another thing that happens. This game drops input sometimes. It happens for me especially when I'm streaming because I'm taxing my computer. But yeah, sometimes it'll jump, or you'll, oops, I'm stuck. There we go. Sometimes it'll drop A inputs, which will cause you not to get a jump when you should get one. So going back to the collision thing I was talking about, it's very much a serious problem on this level in particular because there's a lot. This bridge is really long, and it's moving back and forth, and we want to try to get all the way to the other side and jump over the railing like that. So we got really lucky. We got really good collision. A lot of times you'll get collision on that level, or on this level. Oh, excuse me, talking about collision. Sometimes you'll have it where you'll be just running straight across the bridge, and you'll just pop off over the edge of the bridge. This strat's pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. You actually don't have to do that jump when you land. If you land on like the slanted part, you can get a bounce straight into the goal, but it's really hard, so I generally don't go for it in runs. I want to eventually go for it in runs, but not right now. That strat's pretty cool. It saves a lot of time of just like going around this track. There's a similar strat you can do on that one on the left there, but it's a little bit riskier. There we go. The bounces on that last platform are like practically RNG unless you have incredible precision. You never really know exactly where you're going to land. Alright, so here's another boss. This is the boss that a lot of people have seen from this game. He is really terribly programmed. He flies around a lot, and his shooting is really inconsistent. Like he'll do this little dance thing like he's doing right now instead of shooting. So I want to get like a second bullet from him right as I hit him the first time, and then that way I don't have to wait for him to do another shot. Also, I'm getting really good luck. A lot of times he'll fall really far below the map, and it takes him a while to get back up here, but he's just been falling right next to the map, which is nice. He's been giving us a lot of dances, though, I will say. I want to wait and see if he'll give us another bullet here. I'm going to just hit this one if he doesn't do it in a second. Alright, yeah, he's not giving it to us, so we're just going to hit him. And the reason I wanted to save a bullet is because on this cycle, it takes a minute to get the bullet to come to you. Like that. Also, if these bullets hit you, you're pretty much dead. If you aren't, like, prepared for it. Alright, that should be... He should be dead. One of the bullets... Okay, yeah, there we go. I was gonna say, I thought maybe one of the bullets I sent his way didn't hit him, but we're good. You might have noticed the bullets were dealing different amount of damage during that fight. In the second phase where he shoots out all those bullets, only the first one will do full damage. The rest of them will do like very little amount of damage. So unless you hit him with all of them, it's really hard to clear him in one cycle. Yeah, so you kind of gotta wait. Otherwise, we could just save bullets and hit him much more quickly, but he doesn't take full damage, and so it's actually slower and it's a little bit faster to wait. Alright, so going on to World 3 here. World 3 is a ice world, as we can see. I like this world for the most part. I think there's a number of good stages in here. I like the music. I also just like the assets for this world. So this one we, again, can just kind of skip by jumping. You can actually do a lot of that skip without a jump at all. And it's faster to do that, but it's significantly less consistent. This stage is pretty lame. I don't really get this stage. But, you know, I guess if you're going to collect all the bananas or coins or whatever, or rings or whatever they are, depending on who you're playing as. I hate this stage a lot. The bumpers are really annoying. And if they hit you, you're kind of just dead. So you gotta just like jump around all of their platforms, and it's just like jumping from bridge to bridge. And as we talked about, the bridges don't exactly have the best collision. And so sometimes they'll just pop you out, and you're just dead. I almost got hit by that like wooden stick thing that's rotating. If you jump on that or get hit by it, it's really easy to die. Alright, there's a really cool strat here. I'm gonna try to do it. It makes this level very fast. I'm actually just gonna die so I can try to do it one more time. This level is usually very slow. So I'm gonna focus for a second here. Alright, I messed it up. Oh well, I'm gonna get to show you again because I got a very unlucky bounce. Basically, I'm trying to skip all of the dips or valleys in this level and just go from flat piece to flat piece. Like this. Yeah, there we go. That was it. I believe I lost. I believe you save time if you get it like the second time. but third time I think I definitely lost a little bit of time there. Oh, saved it. Okay. The snowballs on that level have really wild collision and just that, like, it'll really just, like, shoot you out if you hit one of them. So you have to be really careful not to hit them at all if you have any kind of speed, because they will just destroy you. This level's pretty cool. It's a lot of big skips. Because this level is, like, rounded like this, it makes landing really risky, because all of those jumps might just throw you off to the side. The last jump I just went for, I actually did not do in my PB, because the last jump of those three is actually the hardest one, believe it or not, as silly as that sounds. Alright, I'm going to go for the quick kill here. I have a setup to do the quick kill, but it's faster if you do it without the setup. Alright, I didn't get it, so I'm going to go for the setup now, which is you wait right here, wait for him to go to the right, run forward, jump, you can hit him. I'm going to try to go for the quick kill again. Oh, I just missed it. Yeah, basically, if you time it just perfectly, you can hit his disgusting belly button, but like right as he uncovers it, and it saves quite a bit of time. I've never gotten it to run, but I have been practicing it a lot. It's very hard to time. But the nice thing is, as long as you don't die going for it, you can go back and just go for the setup, and it only loses a few seconds. So it's not that bad. Alright, World 4. World 4 is pretty fun. You're going to notice I'm going to wait here for about a second and a half, 2 seconds, because I need to wait for this cycle on these doors. There's a cool strat here. Let's see if I can do it where you can, like, basically jump straight to the goal. Yeah, there we go. It's kind of a tight spot that you have to jump in. You can kind of adjust in the air if you're off a little bit, like I did. So yeah, on most of the levels or stages in this world, I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to go for a strat here. Alright, yeah, so that strat allows me to bypass that first bridge, which saves a good amount of time, because the bridges often will kill you because of... Oh no, that was a really bad jump. The bridges will often, like, just like we were talking about with the other slatted platforms, just, like, throw you out. I waited a little long there on accident. Probably start going for that strat in runs. I usually don't do that strat in runs where I jump around the bridge. And these stairs are not being nice to me today. Oh, come on. There we go. And then you can kind of cut the corner here a little bit. It's kind of hard on that one. It's easier to do on this one because you have a little bit more time. Just want to be careful that you don't roll off into the void. This is another stage that is notoriously bad collision because of these cracks. You saw that I got a little bounce there that I didn't mean to get, and it kind of threw me off a little bit, but I was able to recover.
Ready? Go!
Alright, this one can be pretty tricky as well. Oh, almost got thrown over the edge there, but yeah, with all of those concave platforms, it's really easy to, like, bonk on the edge of one and just get thrown out. It's also just very difficult to time your jumps correctly because there's also all of those moles, and the moles movement is all RNG. And so they're in basically completely different places every time. There's a faster strat where you can land on the boost pad above that one, but it's very hard to get. The setup for that one is a lot easier. This one has a cool trick. It's another super jump where I'm going to bounce off the edge of this planter. Actually, this, yeah, so this is actually a super jump. What I was talking about before were delayed jumps, where you bounce and then you jump. A super jump basically works by, like, if you come into collision with, like, like a curb or something, like, small that you could roll over, and you jump on, like, within a few frames, you'll maintain, like, all of your speed. And that's really useful for crossing large gaps. Also, you see I caught that second door cycle. That's why I waited an extra second at the beginning of this level, was to catch that second cycle at full speed. These stairs... Oh, no. Oh, no. Alright, we saved it. The stairs in this level... I missed the cycle, though, because of that. The stairs in World 4 are very difficult and are a good way to see a beginner from a good player, or an expert from like an intermediate player even, is how they do these stairs. There's a lot of different ways to do them. It's hard to get into a rhythm and keep it. Stairs can often be a source of big time loss or time gain, depending. Luckily, there's not very many of them after World 4. I'm going to intentionally miss one of those boost pads to make this a little bit easier. You can hit all of them, but it requires some precise control stick inputs to go into the goal. And it only loses like maybe half a second if you don't do it. Alright, so this is my favorite boss fight in the run. This boss fight, in my opinion, this is what all of them should have been like. It's more of a platforming challenge than a boss. But the boss is the platform, which is, I think, a really cool idea. I gotta jump on this guy's head. They almost just launched me out of there. So I'm gonna do a skip after this ring here. So as soon as I destroy the second one, oh, I missed the. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna start rolling, and I'm gonna start going immediately. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna jump over here. I didn't quite get it in time. Basically, I'm trying to skip the last stage of the fight, which is where it wants you to destroy all of these cannons. It takes a really long time. I've never actually even done that. Casually, I did what we do in the speedrun. Oh, I got really unlucky there with the throw. Where is he? Oh, he's way in the back. I don't know if I'm going to make it. Yeah. This can be very punishing if you don't get it on the first try. But let's see if I can get the skip here. I think I might have been a little late. No, we got it. Alright, yeah, so you can see all those cannons there. You're supposed to destroy all of them, but if you time it just right, like either like right after they shoot or right before they shoot, you can duck in there real quick and hit that button, and that button just kills the boss. So that is World 4. World 5 is where things, I think, really start to ramp up. A lot of people that played this game said it was bad because it was too easy and all of the levels were really simple and stuff like that. But honestly, I think a lot of the people that said that never got to World 5. Because World 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are where things really start to ramp up. And yeah, there are some pretty easy stages in this world, but I wouldn't say that it's easy. Alright, so I missed the skip there. Basically, we use the timer to know roughly when we need to jump to try to land on that platform, and then we also look at the swinging platform in the background behind it, because it will kind of tell you where it is. I messed that up again. Too much talking, not enough focusing. But yeah, for a long time when doing this, I didn't realize that both of the swinging platforms move at the same time. Like they like mirror each other. And so you can just look at the one in the background to know where to aim yourself. There is a strat to skip over to that other platform that I'm about to get on early, but it's very, very, very difficult. And I don't know if anyone's really doing it in runs yet. Maybe Interval or Loki. But for a long time, people did not do it in runs because it's so risky, and it tends to be, it's one of those strats where like if you miss it, you reset. But yeah, missing this strat once and going for it again, the one that I did, is still faster than doing this level casually. It is a really long level with a lot of waiting. Not exactly a fun level, if you ask me. I really dislike this level. There's like not any really good consistent ways to do this fast that I have been able to use, really. It's really hard to like get past these different like waves that you're following. On the second part of the stage, it's a little easier. You can just hold up, and most of the time you'll get a good bounce. The other thing you gotta be careful of in this one, though, is missing the goal, because you get like a really hard bounce right before it. It's a cool strat on this level. I'll see if I can pull it off. Or I can just skip this entire second half and get a bounce and just go straight in. You only have one jump, and you can just clear everything.
Ready?
That's not the strat I go for in runs. I go for something a little safer in most of my runs, but that was pretty good.
Ready?
All right, this level has a pretty cool looking strat that's very similar to one you'll see later, where we're just gonna jump on these railings to get in the goal. It saves a lot of time because these rotating platforms just take forever to move.
Ready?
This level also has another really cool strat I'm gonna try to show off here. It skips most of the level. The really precise angle here, we can get this jump over here and then jump right into the goal. I took it a little safe there, but yeah, usually when you try to do that, you'll hit some collision for some objects that are like right above where that second jump was. So you have to have a really tight angle in order to not hit that stuff. Oh no. Oops. That was a time that a little early. There's a strat on this level that allows you to skip waiting for a really long cycle that you'll see momentarily. I don't go for that strat because it is really inconsistent. Basically, instead of waiting for this thing, you get a couple clips off of these as they're moving, and it allows you to clear all the way to this one really quickly instead of having to wait like that. But like I said, it's really inconsistent. It looks really cool, but it is probably one of the hardest strats in the entire game. Most of the like difficult strats that might be used in runs, I've at least tried or learned and realized that like I didn't want to go for it in runs. That one I practiced it for like maybe a half hour, and I think I only got it like once or twice. It's really difficult. Oh, he got in my way a little bit. Yeah, their movement is RNG as well. Most of the time they don't get in your way, but sometimes they do. Also on this level, if you hold up left, it's actually faster than just holding up. The only thing is if you just continuously hold up left, you will get so much speed that you'll just roll over the little bumper or little like curb there along the side. So you have to kind of go between up and up left. Oops. The edges of the goal are very have big potential for making you bounce. It's very easy to bounce off of them. All right, so this is a very interesting boss that tends to give me a fair amount of trouble. So all of his tentacles have like a huge hitbox, and he whips them around pretty haphazardly. And so it's very easy to just get like whipped by a tentacle without seeing it or expecting it, and all of a sudden you're dead. Like you just gotta saw it happen to that little green guy there, or like that, where even if he like barely touches you, if he's moving, you're kind of just dead. It's very easy to get hit by him, even if you're like pretty far away. I got stuck there. You might also note that I'm waiting a little bit before I go for the extra hit there, or for another hit there, because there's like a window where he's invulnerable. You also just have to wait for him to pop back up, and then he shoots this big wave of water at you. So the first like phase of the fight, you get to hit him 3 times, and now you can only hit him once, and he's invulnerable until he comes back up. Also, his position and like orientation is completely random. So sometimes, like that one, he came up with his weak spot right in front of me, which is really great. That's what we hope to see. And you can try to manipulate that a little bit once he spawns. Like I kind of went to the right there in order to try to get around him before the wave came. Minus the deaths, that was a pretty good fight overall. Looks like that was a pretty good split for the most part. I'm going to be saving some time, so.
World clear.
Yeah, we saved like a minute and a half there.
Ready?
All right.
Go.
So this world, World 6, is where things really start to ramp up. There's a couple very difficult levels that are like casually difficult, as well as a number that are very difficult to speedrun. This level, unfortunately, just makes us wait for like 10 seconds. Or actually longer. So I just jump around on these objects out here to occupy my time. And then around 109, this comes down. I really wish they could have timed it so that when you started the level, you could just like run straight to it and get on, but they didn't. I think it was timed that way in Banana Blitz SD, the original version on the Wii, but don't quote me on that, because I actually haven't played that game. It's actually a little bit easier if you jump straight to the railing there, if you can get your camera set up correctly, because once you're on that tiny platform, it's really hard to get your camera to do what you want. It's one of the biggest challenges of this game, is just getting the camera to work correctly. I'm going to go for the strat once, just to show it off. Alright, so I got over here, and then the hard part of this strat is this part. Oh man, I almost got it. Almost got it. Alright, so I'm going to show off a slightly different strat here, because I got the first two halves of that, which is the hardest part. I actually messed up the easy part. So if you don't want to do that strat, you can actually do it from this green platform and jump past the yellow one here and jump on the rail. But that is pretty hard. It's a very tight space you have to jump through. But you can do the same thing down at the end of this one to skip the last moving platform. And so I'm going to go for that. That's generally what I've been going for in runs. You just kind of got to wait, and then you jump out, and you can do this. Oh no, I thought that was going to throw me out. Redesign. I just realized I got messages in chat. Sorry, y'all. I was very focused on my commentary. If you're just joining us, by the way, this is my video for my Games Done Quick submission. So that level didn't go super well. I got a lot of bad collision on the bridge there.
Ready? Go!
Look at the website address in my profiles pic.
Ready?
Best. By the way, Super Monkey Ball is perfect. I would not say Banana Blitz is perfect. I would say it's a... Oop, I got bad collision there. I would say it's a fun game. I would say it is a fun game casually and from a speedrun perspective. There's a lot of things I would change about this game if I had the ability, but I do really like this game. Alright, so I kind of got a bad luck with that jump there. The way this jump works is it's another delayed jump, but it's probably the tightest one we used in the run. It has to be just right. You have to have a lot of speed, and it has to be like almost the most delayed you can do a delayed jump. So like you saw that time, I missed the jump completely because I was like slightly too late. Yeah, this is one of the hardest levels in the speedrun to learn the strat for. There's a good backup, which is that. Also this, oh no, that railing is really difficult. Yeah, you can, oh no, I missed the backup too. Yeah, this one's giving me a lot of trouble. Usually I can get this like first or second try. But this is one of the hardest levels, I think, in the run. I don't know if I'm going to have enough speed now. Yeah, I did. Oh, no, I didn't. Just barely not enough. This was probably the trick that I had to, like, grind out the most early on in my career running this game. You know what, I'm just going to... Ugh. I was going to go for a different backup there, but I dropped my jump input. Alright, let's do it this time. That's what the trick's supposed to look like. You just jump all the way to that spot. And it also tends to set up your camera pretty well to getting on that railing. It's like I mentioned, the camera in this game is not very good. It pretty much... You have like no control over it whatsoever. There's some settings you can change to change how it will act automatically. But you can't move it. And so getting the camera to be where you want requires some finagling with the control stick. Also, on that last level, I did a cycle skip there, but I didn't have to wait for a cycle, which is pretty nice. I used a little setup in the beginning of this level in order to get that jump straight into this part here, because this level actually is pretty tightly timed. You have to do pretty well in this level in order to beat it, because the timer will run out. I don't think I've timed out on this stage in a long time, but casually I definitely did. But yeah, even like in a speed run, I usually only end with like 6 or 7 seconds left, like 5 if I'm being careful. Alright, this stage has another cycle skip we can go for. I'm gonna try to do it. Oh no. I got bad collision there. Usually you can just cut those corners, but I ended up colliding with the corner. Like I said, the collision in this game is very inconsistent, so you kind of just got to go for things that usually work. And sometimes it's just not going to work. Alright, I think I got the cycle skip. Yep. Oh no, I got it, but I didn't hold back enough. That cycle skip is pretty difficult. I usually don't go for it in runs, but I wanted to show it off in this video. If this were to get into GDQ, I would definitely be showing off as many cool strats as possible, even if it was at a risk of dying. Just because there's a lot of really cool strats for this game. There we go, I got the cycle skip that time. Yeah, to get that cycle skip, you have to use those platforms that like extend out to like push you to get extra speed. So this is an interesting boss. Unlike most of them, you can just basically deal damage to her like most of the time. I got bad RNG where she spun around there. But yeah, there's most of the time that microphone has an active like hitbox. So you saw there, like they only want you to be able to hit her during like one phase of the fight, but you can hit her during most of them. I believe the world record for this fight is like 13 seconds, or maybe it's less. But yeah, there's some pretty crazy strats for this boss fight. For all worlds runs, mostly we just try to jump at the microphone the best we can. You see there, I hit it, but it didn't register. When she's like screaming like that, or like doing that angry animation, she's not able to be hit. Alright, so this is how they want you to hit her. Is she does this cycle. Her microphone's invulnerable right now, and then she brings it down and gives you a chance to hit it. And that's how they want you to do it for every hit. But if you know what you're doing, you can just jump up and hit it. I find that it's easiest to get those jumps when she's on 2 of those little platforms, because you can knock them away beneath her to make her shorter. Some people find it easier when she's just standing on the ground, but I find that when she's 2 platforms up, her microphone tends to be in a spot that's really easy to just jump into, which is pretty nice. Alright, so I'm going to go for a strat here that makes this level a little bit faster. Oh no, I missed the boost pad. So you'll notice that this stage is like big like hills and valleys. And so the fastest way to get through this level would be if we could make a direct line. So I tend to try to go off the side like this and skip large portions of it. Like that. And then we have to go down this hole. And getting into that goal is actually kind of tricky. If you don't have enough speed, you'll just fly off. And if you jump, usually it doesn't work. So you have to have a lot of speed to get through there. This level looks pretty cool. It's a lot of just like balancing on very thin platforms. And then you can do a bounce right there at the end to clear the rest of that gap if you have enough speed. It looks really cool. It saves like half a second. This level looks pretty neat. You can just like jump off the side. There's like a bunch of spinning platforms up there with holes in them, and they want you to find the hole that's big enough for you to fall through to get to the next one. But you can just jump right to the goal. This one has some cool strats as well. There's a strat in this level that allows you to jump all the way to the goal, but it is very difficult. And I know some people use it in runs, but it's mostly used for ILs. It's just very precise, and it's mostly a blind jump. Oh no. I hit the fence a little bit there.
Continue.
Let's try that again. Yeah, this stage is also pretty difficult. It's usually one of the ones I'm pretty consistent at because I've practiced it so much. But this ending part still gets me sometimes. This like curly platform is very difficult to stay on.
Ready? Go.
Again, bonus stage. This one has a really low death point. Alright, so this next stage is pretty difficult. The cycles for this do not appear to reset when you die, which is unlike every other level in the game. And so if you don't get it first try, your cycles are going to be messed up, which makes it very difficult to recover when you die. But yeah, basically you want to be able to be jumping fast enough to where the platforms are always flat when they're underneath you. And it allows you to get through that level pretty quickly. But if you miss it, then you got to play with the cycles. This one has another cool jump. I really like a lot of the stages in this world. So for this one, I'm going to use my HUD in the bottom left corner, and once the the volcano pools sign passes over the goal in the background, I know to jump. About half a second after that.
Ready? Go!
This level can have some pretty wonky collisions, so let's hope that it works out for us. You'll notice that as I'm running here, I'll just sometimes like hit bumps that seem to be in the middle of the floor. You'll notice you see the little sparks beneath his feet. Uh-oh. Because that platform is spinning, it can be very hard to get into the goal.
Ready? Go!
Alright, this level is one that I really don't like. Casually, I thought it was kind of cool. In a speed run, I hate it because it's really long and it's really easy to like make a little mistake and die. And so if you get towards the end of this level and you die, it just wastes so much time. It's also really easy to go too fast on this level and die. That's why I'm kind of going slow here. Because if you're going too fast, you will just jump over these platforms. And you need to hit them or you are dead. Because there's no other way to get over that we know of right now. And then it's also really easy to take this corner too fast. It's like a little bit tighter than the other one, even though it doesn't really feel like it. Once you get to this point, you pretty much know you're good. So. Alright, now we're on to the second to last boss. World 7 boss is pretty interesting. It's this like weird little monkey creature who controls this weird animate like collection of spheres. It's very bizarre. The nice thing about this one is we can do some extra hits on here. So they're going to do this Hulk smash move, and I can jump up here and hit her. And then once she's down, like walking around down here is when you're supposed to hit her. But she's very hard to hit because the way that your camera works. Your camera is always going to point at her, and so if she like jumps around you or something, it'll whip your camera 180 degrees. So it can be kind of tough. But usually this cycle will just happen for a certain amount of time, and then she'll drop. But if you hit her, it stops the cycle immediately. I don't know. I'm assuming that was probably intended to some extent. Oh, come on, man. There we go. But yeah, it's very easy to die on this boss fight because there's just a lot of things that can like just send you flying. Unfortunately, in this cycle, when they pick this attack, there's no way to get an early hit that we know of right now. So you just gotta wait. There's like a little bit of a setup for like hitting her, like every time pretty quickly if you get like a timeout like that where like it goes through the cycle and then she just falls, you can like meet her in the middle. But it's very hard to do because a lot of the times the pieces of the boss will be in the way. So that one can be tough to do fast, but it's pretty satisfying.
World clear.
In general, I like that world. And that boss fight. I don't like a lot of the boss fights in this game, but that one's pretty okay. Alright, so for this stage, we're just gonna like skip most of it and just go pretty much straight to the end here. I try to avoid most of those boost pads after the first one just because it's very easy to get shot off in a random direction. This level has a pretty cool strat that looks really fast. Bounce down here. Oh, I did not have a lot of speed there. I don't know what happened. Felt like I was missing a lot of speed. Yeah, you can get this bounce and just go straight in. I like that strat a lot. It feels really fast. This level has some pretty cool strats as well. You can just kind of like jump over all of these. And then just jump straight into the goal. It's very fast. That level's usually like casually, that's a really long level. I'm gonna go for a cool strat here, where you just jump over and hit this boost pad. It's really inconsistent, but it looks really cool when you can get it right. I'm gonna go for it one more time just for fun. Yeah, it's really inconsistent. You have to jump at the same time you hit the boost pad. And the amount of speed and the angle that it gives you is pretty inconsistent from run to run. Generally in this level, you just want to avoid all the boost pads completely, because they are mostly here to throw you off. Except for that one, you have to hit that one. You kind of skip over that one like that. Oh no. I thought I had enough momentum, but I did not. So we're going to try that again. I'm going to go for this one more time. Yeah, that, as you saw, that actually shot me over the top platform. That's kind of what I was hoping to do, because you can land on that top platform up there and skip like a good majority of this level, and it looks really cool, but it's very difficult. Not something anyone goes for in runs really. It's mostly an IL strat, but figured I'd try to show it off. There we go. Yeah, if you just hit that boost pad a little bit and hold back, it's a pretty safe way to get over.
Ready?
That level tends to give at least me a lot of trouble though, and I think some other runners have struggled with that level. There's just a lot of tight jumps. There's another cool skip on this level that allows us to skip a large portion of this big like platform nonsense, where we can just jump across, and that skips about, I don't know, maybe a third of the level. Oh no, I missed. Oh no. I had a little bit of frame drop there, and I was doing the best I could, but yeah, unfortunately with my computer, I have a pretty nice computer, but when I am streaming, this game tends to lag. And oftentimes it'll just drop like 2 to 5 frames, and then I'm just not exactly sure where I am, and I have to try to correct without knowing exactly where I am. Well, it just adds to the challenge. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Most of the time, it doesn't kill a run. It has before, but not most of the time. So this level has all of these big, like, spinny platform things, but for the most part, we're just going to kind of avoid them, or jump over them completely, because they're... Oh, wow, I've never had that happen. I jumped too late, and I bonked on the spinning platform and died. Yeah, I can confidently say that actually has never happened before. Alright. And the thing with these boost pads, I was actually just going to say, is if you hit them at an angle, they'll just toss you out. And I was trying to jump over that one, but my jump was a little late. This level can be tough with the timing, because if you're going faster or slower than you usually go, the cycles are different, and that can throw things off quite a bit. And then the end of this level is always a little scary. You just gotta like jump up that, otherwise you go really slow.
Ready? Go!
Alright, and then for that one we just skip that whole tower because it takes way too long to go down, so we just jump down it. And then we gotta avoid all of these really fast moving balls. And then, honestly, one of the hardest parts of the level is this ending part with this curved boost pad, quarter pipe looking nonsense.
Ready?
Those tend to be pretty difficult. There's another one of those in World 9 that we'll see that's actually substantially harder. Alright, so this one I'm going a little careful just because I've died on this a lot recently. But we got it. That first jump down there is difficult because if you're going too fast or too far, you'll hit stuff and die. And if you're too close, you'll hit stuff and die. It's pretty precise. This might be the worst boss in the game. Luckily, it's the last boss in the game. In the very beginning, oh, I messed it up, but you can go right in and hit him right off the bat. But I just barely missed. All of his like hooks that he has, or his like scissor hand things, have massive collision. And so any time that he's like swinging them around like he is right now, or when he's like smashing them on the ground, or even during this animation where he like brings them up, they can hit you and just knock you right off the level. Oh, come here. Come on. You'll notice that I keep going all the way to the back here whenever he starts like an attack, because it's very easy to just get hit off by like the animation of the attack. Those purple orbs will give you like a small amount of recoil, as well as uh-oh. Alright, yep. That happens. That attack, if you don't get the hit in immediately, it's pretty easy to die. The strats we go for on this boss can be pretty risky. But yeah, those purple orbs that spawn in the second half of the fight are a huge pain. They can very easily hit you off the level. There we go. Got some good early hits there. I would say that it is not abnormal to die on this stage in a run, at least not for me. I will often die at least once on this stage. I didn't mean to stay in between his legs for that cycle, but that can be a safer way to make sure that you don't die. Alright, so for this one I gotta hit him, or he's gonna kill me. Alright, there we go. Okay, for this last cycle, we're gonna stay right on the edge out here. We're gonna avoid these purple orbs. So that'll happen sometimes where he will hit a purple orb with his collision that will then hit you off the level, which to me seems like something that was not intended by the developers. I feel like they probably should have made it so that he cannot collide with those. Unfortunately, he can, and it has killed runs for me in the past, and I know it has for other players as well, because it's something that's very hard to see coming. Yeah, this boss tends to be a pretty big source of time loss for myself as well as other runners. It's very easy to lose a lot of time to this guy, because the deaths are very costly, because they're usually not in the beginning of the fight, they're usually towards the end. I'm gonna get away from all those purple orbs. They're gonna hit me anyway. You'll notice that the longer the fight goes on, the more the stage moves beneath him as he like pounds on the ground and stuff too, which makes things a little scarier. Alright, there we go. Final hit. He's out of here. Also, I don't know if this was an intended bit by the developers, but I think it's funny that the pirate boss, in order to defeat the pirate boss, you have to go for his booty. I don't know if that was like a wordplay intended by the developers or not, but I like to think that it is.
World clear.
It's a pretty sloppy boss fight, but that happens. It happens on that boss every once in a while. You'll get killed a couple times before you can get through, but usually I get through on the second or first attempt.
Ready?
It's not unusual for me to die there, but it is unusual for me to die there that many times. That's a lot of deaths. Alright, so now we are on World 9. World 9 is pretty tough. I really hate this stage because of all of the crazy collision it gives you, and the fact that it has such a crazy strict timer. This is a really hard level for me casually.
Ready? Go!
I think a lot of people don't like this level, but I actually really like this level. Oh, that was really close. It's really easy to die on those last couple platforms because it's hard to get the height, especially if you're skipping the one like I did. There's a cool strat on this level I'm going to go for that I don't usually go for, where you just go all the way to the end. You can just go all the way to the goal. It's pretty tight, but yeah, there we go. Usually I drop to the platform that's above this one, the red one, and then I just ride the platform down. But it's still pretty consistent to just go for the strat I just did. It's just one of those things I haven't practiced a ton. This level has one of my favorite strats in the whole game. I just got a really bad run-up, so I'm not sure if it's going to work. But basically, we're going to bounce all the way over here. Alright, first try. That's pretty good. It's definitely a difficult strat. There is a strat with Yan Yan that allows you to bounce all the way into the goal. It is really wild. It's one of the coolest IL strats I've seen for this game. And it barely works. It just barely works. It looks like they're not gonna make it when you're watching it, and then they just barely make it into the goal. It's very impressive. I hate this stage a lot because of the ending here with this like curly platform with the boost pad in it. In a lot of my previous runs, a lot of my early runs especially, died to that platform. There's a cool strat here that you just hold up. Oh no, it didn't work. I must have got some lag. Usually if you hold up, you can just fly all the way to the goal down here. You hold up and then you readjust in the air a little bit, but I didn't quite get it that time. I'm not sure what happened. So this one's kind of difficult because you actually have to like hold back a fair amount in the beginning in order to not fly off like I just did. There we go. And then you can just let it go neutral. Oh. Weird. Apparently I had like just not enough speed. Usually you can just let your control stick neutral and it'll do like half of this level for you. Alright, saved. So I'm neutral, and then I'm holding left. And then these boost pads are a little iffy, so I tend to jump over at least the last one there, because it has that moving platform back and forth. It's really hard to hit. Cool strat on this level as well, where you can just kind of bounce all the way to the goal. I kind of messed it up. I almost saved it though. I'm aiming to bonk off of this corner of the stair here, kind of like that. Oh man, I did like the same mistake and almost saved it in the same way. There is a setup that some people use for this level. I've just been kind of doing this strat forever. It is definitely like one of the harder strats if you don't use the setup. Oh wow, that was a miss completely. I got this in my PB that I got today. I think I got this first or second try, but there we go. That works. That's not what I was going for, but that works. You usually just fly all the way straight to the goal, but you can kind of save it if you can land on one of those thin platforms. So yeah, no boss for World 9. Going straight into World 10, because again, these are like the extra levels. You can actually just like clear 2 of these at a time if you do it right. Unfortunately, the collision in this level isn't very good, so you can get a lot of like weird bounces off things like I did there. Yeah, you jump over the first one, land in the second one, and you can go all the way to this like 4th one, and then you can go over here like this. I'm gonna like go down here though to reset these boost pads. So you want to, if you don't go directly into the boost pads, it's really easy to die going up this platform. It's easy to get like thrown off the side if you're not straight on. This level is pretty trivial. It feels like a little easy for being in World 10, if you ask me. You just kind of gotta jump over these things. You can save a little bit of time by going around the end like that and just jumping straight into the goal. So this level is one of the most infamous levels in this game for the runners. It's very inconsistent just because of these square platforms give you really weird bounces. Because it's really hard to tell if you're going to land on like a side or a corner, and that all determines your bounce. And so depending on what kind of jump you get, like right there, it kind of threw me out to the right. You have to really be able to adjust on the fly or be incredibly precise to get this level consistently. In my PB, I did get this first try, but it was like a very, very hype moment for me. This is one of my favorite strats in the run. For this level, we run along the left side of this to build speed, and then we jump over here, and then we jump all the way to the end to skip a cycle of having to wait on those platforms. And then we just come all the way over here, and we just go straight in the goal. There's a slightly faster strat where you can skip landing on the platform, and you can like just fly all the way to the goal, but I've only ever seen like 1 or 2 people do it, and it's for aisle strats. Alright, so this is probably the most infamous level in this game. This is 10-5. All of these pyramids have crazy collision. That was a super jump there to try to... Oh, I got 2 super jumps in a row, and I was only trying to go for 1. The color of the pyramid denotes the like intensity of its angles. The red ones are the most intense, and then yellow, and then green is the least. So we want to avoid hitting red at any point in time. You'll see there's these little islands here with the red in the middle. We want to avoid hitting the red by jumping near the edges. Alright, I got this second try, which is really good. On a lot of my runs, I'd get this like 6th or 7th try. It's a very hard level. The part with the little island platforms that you have to jump across is usually the run killer for me. Cool little strat here. If you go right and then left, you can just like jump all the way over here. Another little cool strat for getting on this platform is if you just let it get under the railing and then you just tap A. Oh no. If you just do like really light jumps, it'll just pull you right back into the railing area. But I got kind of a weird bounce, so I got bounced out. Like if I just let it grab me, it'll just put you right over. And then you can pretty much just hold like up and up left here. It's a little slow because I fell off, but not too bad. Alright, and then there's pretty cool strat on this level as well. So this is usually a really long level, but we can skip all of it by just jumping over here and landing on this platform. You're supposed to like ride these platforms from like really far away, and it's like really obnoxious. And then also there's a strat there, if you just wait till 106, you can just hold up and you'll go straight into the goal. And it saves maybe like half a second. This is another cool one. There's a couple cool strats here. So here we're gonna just skip half the level. Oh no, I hit the pole. I was trying to go to the side of the pole, but I just kind of missed it. It was kind of a bit of a blind jump. You can actually jump like a little bit earlier. I think you can jump from the one before this. I just haven't practiced it as much, so I don't know exactly where you're supposed to land. So that skips a good portion of the level, and then we're just going to jump through here like this. And then I wait for that little transition there so you don't have to jump again, but some runners will just jump. Alright. Now we're on the very last stage of the game. 10-9. This level messes me up pretty frequently doing runs, because at this point you're super nervous because you're on PB pace, and this is the only thing that stands between you and a PB. And like this platform right here, this curved platform, is really, you have to either be going really fast or jump in order to make it. Alright, well I saved, oh no I didn't. I was gonna say I saved myself from a death, but yeah, this stage will often take me at least 2 attempts, like 2 to 3, because of that single platform up there. Also, I keep getting weird like bumps over all of these, over all of the boost pads on accident. But you gotta go really fast here in order to not fall off. And then you don't want to really hit these boost pads. You can. I hit those last 2 on purpose, but it's kind of scary. And you can just jump straight in the goal. All right, that was not bad at all. So yeah, the final time was 56:02. It's about 4 minutes behind my PB. I got a little messed up in level 7 there, but yeah, thank you so much for watching my submission video. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you there. But if not, thanks anyway, and have a wonderful day.